We're all ready. Okay. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm joined up here with DPS Captain Ricky White, Assistant District Attorney Cassie Nesbitt, and Captain Joe Gillum from the Sheriff's Office. As members of your law enforcement community and residents of this city and county, all of the judicial partners wanted to hold this press conference to discuss the increase in vehicle racing incidents on our streets and roadways and the dangerous activities these races cause. The Texas Transportation Code forbids racing of any sorts on our streets and roadways. This includes vehicles trying to arrive at a location first, trying to outdistance another vehicle through an acceleration contest, or preventing another vehicle from passing. We are seeing a noticeable increase in the number of racing incidents across the city, which is causing unsafe driving conditions for both those participating in racing and the drivers who are sharing the roadways. Arrests for racing on our roadways can range from Class B misdemeanor to a second-degree felony depending on the severity of the infraction and the extent of bodily injury or death caused. In 2018, the Lubbock Police Department responded to 155 calls for service regarding drag racing. In 2019, we responded to 171 calls. This early into 2020, we have already responded to 48 calls for service regarding vehicle racing. That's a 28% increase. That's 28% of the total calls for service that we received last year. On February 24th, 3 vehicles participating in street racing caused an accident that took the life of 69-year-old Mr. Howard Wright. These 3 individuals, 19-year-old Xavier Montalvo, 28-year-old Antonio Martin, and 24-year-old Luis Salinas, were racing on Slide Road when Montalvo's vehicle collided with 69-year-old Howard Wright's vehicle at in the 7500 block of Slide Road. Mr. Wright was transported to University Medical Center where he was pronounced deceased. On March 3rd, Montalvo was arrested on warrants for racing on a highway causing the death of another and the charge of manslaughter with a bond of $150,000. Martin and Salinas were also arrested on warrants for racing on a highway causing the death with bonds of $100,000 each. Racing has serious and permanent consequences for everyone involved. And we are thankful for the Lubbock County District Attorney's Office for their commitment to strongly prosecute these types of crimes in our community. The Lubbock Police Department continues our commitment to enforce the laws prohibiting racing and other traffic violations to help make our streets safer for the citizens of Lubbock. 51 deaths on our roadway last year is too many, and we in law enforcement profession are taking proactive measures to change this trend. We also need the public's help. When we work together, we have strength in numbers. So please call us if you see or suspect vehicle racing on our roadways so we can respond to and address it. It may help save someone's lives. I am thankful for our partners at the Lubbock County Sheriff's Office, Department of Public Safety, and the Lubbock County District Attorney's Office for their efforts which allow for a united front against these issues. At this time, I'm going to turn it over to Captain White with DPS.
Good afternoon. The Texas Department of Public Safety is proud to join forces with the Lubbock Police Department, Lubbock County Sheriff's Office, and the District Attorney's Office to make our streets safer for our great citizens of Lubbock. We all have a shared vision for safer streets for your family and our families to drive. Our citizens of Lubbock are wonderful people, and a senseless loss of life due to others' carelessness will not be tolerated. As mentioned earlier, we all work together, which includes the citizens of Lubbock, to help educate our drivers of the dangers of racing and speeding, utilizing our law enforcement resources to enforce these traffic laws, and of course the District Attorney's Office help to prosecute these offenders. All of us, including the citizens working together, will make this place safer for everybody to travel. Like the Chief said, since February of 2020, we've already started trying to work some traffic initiatives in the city of Lubbock to address these high crash areas. We're focusing on roadways where the higher crashes are being taking place. That's all I have.
Lubbock County Sheriff's Office would also like to reiterate how committed we are to working with the police department Department of Public Safety, the District Attorney's Office, and as well as our other law enforcement partners throughout the community in an effort to keep everyone safe. Mentioned was a death of a citizen here for Lubbock County, drag racing, etc. We would also say that last month we had a pursuit that was a result of a drag racing call that with speeds of over 100 miles an hour. Ultimately, Rivera was arrested on evading arrest or detention as a result of that initial call. And we would encourage all of our citizens to continue to call in anything that you feel we need to be worried about. A quick Google search will list a litany of places in our surrounding community, as well as multiple inside Lubbock County, for you to do this operation or race in a safe business, and we would ask that you use those rather than our roadways to help keep our people safe, your neighbors, our friends and family. Thank you.
Yes, yeah. So that's all the really prepared remarks. I know Mayor Dan Pope is here, and I remiss in not mentioning him earlier. If you have any questions for us, we'll try to address them as best as possible. Yes, sir.
The previous years, the numbers, any of those resulted in serious bodily injury or death?
I don't know that right off the top of my head. What I can do is refer you to the PIO, and she can get you that data in regards to the charges that were filed back then.
Any comparison as far as year to date between 2020 to 2018 as far as that what you're seeing now? Is it an increase?
Right now, as compared to just a couple of months into the year, we've saw that 28% increase in the number of calls for service.
When it comes to crashes, how can you determine if they were actually racing? How do you kind of differentiate the two?
Through the investigation, usually there's, when we go out in these crashes, we'll do an area canvass and talk to people that were there. We'll talk to witnesses that were in vehicles next to them. Most of the time people stay around and tell us what they saw. So through our investigations, we were able to determine whether they were racing.
And I know a lot of people are probably going to be asking this on Facebook Live. What is that number they need to call if they do see stuff? Is that 911, or is there a certain specific number they need to call?
In regards to this is a serious incident. We need you to call 911 so we can get a response there as fast as we can.